Hello friends, welcome once again. This is just a short video to discuss the agenda for the next month for the Supreme Court Historian YouTube channel. The cases that we are going to discuss, the next three landmark judgments. We don't have too many in 1950, fortunately, in one way of speaking, and three of those all deal with Article 19. All three were decided on the same day, 26th May 1950, exactly a week after A.K. Gopalan. So perhaps we should begin those after a week as well. All three, as I said, deal with Article 19 but in different ways. Romesh, Thapar and Brij Bhushan, these two cases deal with the freedom of the press, and N.B. Khare deals with the personal liberty and right to move freely anywhere in the territory of India. That part, 19(1)(d) of Article 19. So all three are extremely important cases to understand those articles and understand the reasoning and the way the Supreme Court thought. And they are actually quite well-known personalities, all three of them. Unrelated cases, but very interestingly all decided on the same day by the Supreme Court. Romesh Thapar, those of you who have studied history in detail will recognize his younger sister, Romila Thapar. Romesh Thapar was the editor of a communist-oriented left-wing magazine. Brij Bhushan was the editor of the Organizer, the mouthpiece of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha. So both these freedom of press cases actually straddled the entire ideological spectrum from the left to the right, and both had been quite critical of the central government's uh, stance towards fundamental rights. Both had been reporting the A.K. Gopalan and other such detention cases, and they had both faced a government that seemed to be quite touchy when it came to criticism. And Mr. N.B. Khare, Dr. N.B. Khare really, was the head of the Hindu Mahasabha, and his case deals with his externment from the East Punjab State Union. So all three cases fell under the purview of Article 19. All three cases dealt with a petition under Article 32. All three cases were decided on the same day in the Supreme Court of India. All three cases also had another thing in common, that they contributed to what became the First Amendment to our Constitution. Now I'm going to make a separate video about the First Amendment, or maybe a separate set of videos. And this particular amendment dealt with three of the hurdles that the government was facing on the path to the social revolution that they were hoping to bring about. The freedom of the press, the right to property, and the right to equality, all these fundamental rights came in the way of the government when they tried to implement their particular agenda. And while the amendment, of course, is much further down the lane for us, it's still 1950, of course, when we are discussing these cases. But each of these three and several more to come up contributed to the passage of the First Amendment. The First Amendment is, unlike, let's say, the American Constitution's First Amendment, not something that we can be proud of, unfortunately. And perhaps someday when I retire completely, I'm going to start a movement for the repeal or the rollback of the First Amendment. That will be something to behold. But till then, let us just continue with our videos, with our agenda, which is walking up the memory lane, looking at the history of the Supreme Court through its various landmark judgments. Now, I have been receiving some emails, some feedback, from which I can tell that a significant part of my minuscule viewership is made up of students, and as my students have would tell you, if you run into them, I tend to give a lot of assignments. So if you want to prepare for this next month of videos, you would do well to find this magnificent book, 16 Stormy Days by Tripur Daman Singh, the story of the first amendment to the Constitution of India. You will find it in your law libraries, law school libraries, and of course available online bookstores as well. So I will be relying on this book and of course the judgments and all of the other material that we tend to use, and hopefully our experience continues to be as enjoyable and enriching as I hope to make it. Hope you will join me then. See you then. Bye bye.